everybody. Welcome back to the show. We are so pleased to welcome Gordon K. Jones. He is the author of this book right here. Of course, it is called Defending the Inland Shores, Newfoundland in the War of 1812. This book actually just launched in December, mid-December.
Yep.
It's doing extremely well. You actually told me this morning that it hit number 45 in the Canadian history category on Amazon.
Yeah, number 47. It was great.
Number 47.
Yeah, great way to wake up in the morning.
Gee, congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So it is a best-selling book, and it really just launched, a month and a half ago. Talk to us about how this book came to be, Gordon, and your fascination with the War of 1812 and the role Newfoundland played.
Okay, well, I started studying the War of 1812 back in the early 80s after reading Pierre Burton's books. And it was interesting. Everybody wants to learn about Civil War in the States, Napoleonic Wars. This happened in our own backyards.
Wow.
So I've been studying it ever since, been aboard a few of the ships that, replica ships that fought. I've been to battlefields and just really had an interest. And my dad's parents, they're both from Newfoundland, and we went over there for a vacation. And we're watching the Battle of Signal Hill reenactment, and their guns are going off, and I'm running around trying to get the perfect pictures of the muskets and the smoke coming out.
Wow.
And Tina, my wife, started talking to different people, and they knew nothing about Newfoundland's involvement in the war.
Wow.
And that surprised me. So when I got back to Toronto, I thought, well, I'm going to go take a look for a book, and I couldn't find one. I could find it was part of larger histories of the regiment, but nothing just about the War of 1812.
Okay.
And so I thought, well, I guess I should tell the story.
Isn't that cool? Had you had any previous writing experience, or were you already an author?
Not already an author.
No.
I dabbled here and there, never had anything published. A lot of stuff ended up in the trash.
Yeah.
But this one seemed to do well.
This was something you were passionate about,
Yes,
obviously, based on the family history, of course, and what you experienced. There are a couple of key stories that we wanted to share. There are so many in this book, but one of them, the stories you wanted to share, is about the regimental colors.
Yes.
And I do believe we also have two pictures of some historical flags we can show. But go ahead and tell that story for everybody.
Well, the regimental colors, back in the War of 1812, Napoleonic War days, the regiments would carry the colors into battle. And one of them was the king's colors to represent, the king and country. And the other one was a regimental color, which would be the color of the uniforms, like their cuffs and that.
Right.
And the regimental symbol. And if they had any battle honors, they would be posted on the flag. And the flags are held high above the field to give the regiment a frame of reference about where they were in the battle, and there's also a rally point if they had to do any charges. So it was just something of great pride. And because they broke up the Newfoundland regiment and sent 100 here and 100 there, and they decided not to take the regimental colors. They were just put in storage in an armory in Quebec City. And that was in 1812. Well, 100 years later, 1920, there's a group of school teachers from Newfoundland that were touring the Channel Islands. And they were in Jersey, and they walked into this church in St. Bralade, and there were the regimental colors hanging on the wall. They were just shocked.
Wow.
And so the story, which is the last chapter of the book, is how the colors got from Quebec City over to Jersey, and how they got brought back to Newfoundland. But now they're a property of the regiment, and they're in storage because they're very fragile. And I hope one day to be able to actually see them.
Oh my goodness, yes. And the preservation that they must be doing to keep that alive. Another interesting story is the Battle of Lake Erie. We do also have a map to show everybody, because within the book you have different artifacts, you have maps. I don't think it's this one, but possibly the next picture. But what are we looking at right now?
That is Upper Canada, which is Ontario, and where you see the cross sabers on the map, that's where all the different battles took place that the regiment was involved with. And again, because they're broken up into so many different smaller units, they fought in most major battles of the war, right from York, Toronto, and all the way up to the top of Lake Huron there at Fort Mackinac.
Wow.
And they were everywhere, including the naval battle on Lake Erie.
And what is so significant, there's a close-up of the Lake Erie map there, but what is so significant about the Battle of Lake Erie?
This was kind of I titled the chapter "Winner Take All" because it was their fleet versus our fleet,
Okay.
and whoever won the battle was going to control the lake and control the western areas. And the British were desperate. They had been cut off from the food. They had only 1 day worth of flour left. They were on half rations for everything else, and the men were horrified because they stopped the rum ration. They wanted that last shot of yes.
You can't have that.
They wanted the last shot of rum just before they went into the battle. They knew they'd have to fight. So when they got ready, they went out onto the lake and sailed towards Niagara trying to get supplies.
Okay.
And there, of course, Perry's fleet, which is the American fleet, he came out and met them. It was a horrific battle. We lost, but the Newfoundland soldiers, they had a 30% casualty rate of everybody that was involved, and those that didn't die were captured and held until the following year. It was just a tremendous battle, really gory battle.
Yeah.
I won't go into the workings of the battle, but I would like to read something from the book.
Sure. You know what? We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we have a couple more minutes to chat about this book, and we can have you read that passage. That would be fantastic.
Great, thank you.
Also, don't forget that this book is available on Amazon or Indigo or local bookstores. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with lots more right after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are still here with local author Gordon K. Jones. Of course, we are celebrating his brand new book, which just launched in December. It's called Defending the Inland Shores, Newfoundland in the War of 1812. And of course, this is a look at the role that Newfoundland soldiers played in the War of 1812. You were about to read a passage for us. So without further ado, please, Gordon.
This is this is right from the book. I just need these on because even though it's large font, I can't see it. This is one sailor's view as the two fleets approach each other. I'm going to start with my own words though. Perfect. All 15 ships readied themselves for battle. Sand was thrown down on the decks to prevent them from becoming slippery from the blood that would surely spill. Muskets were cleaned, cutlasses were sharpened, and a final meal was eaten. Aboard the British ships, the last of the rum was issued and consumed. Just before 11:45, the ships were within a kilometer of each other. Both commanders ordered silence so everyone could hear the first commands. Now I quote from a sailor that was aboard an American ship. It seemed like the awful silence that precedes an earthquake. This was the time to try the stoutest heart. My pulse beat quick. All nature seemed wrapped in awful suspense. The dart of death hung as if it were trembling by a single hair, and no one knew on whose head it would fall.
Ooh. Chilling. Chilling. You have another one as well, right?
Yes. This
another
is
quote from another soldier?
This is from another sailor. This is after the battle when the burial services were held to honor the dead in the battle and the officers that died. One of the officers was Lieutenant James Garden of the Royal Newfoundland Regiment. Crews from both fleets did attend. And this is the quote from the witness. The procession of boats, the neat appearance of the officers and men, the music, the slow and regular motion of the oars, the waving of flags, the sound of the minute guns from the different ships in the harbor, the wild and solitary aspect of the place, the stillness of nature gave the scene an air of melancholy grandeur, better felt than described. What a contrast did it exhibit to the terrible conflict. Now they associated like brothers to pay the last sad tribute of respect to the dead of both nations. Wow.
Now, were you amazed when you found different artifacts and quotes and some of the writings?
Oh, yes, yes.
They're quite eloquent in the way they express themselves.
And most of the soldiers in battle and most of the sailors were very uneducated. Right. In fact, soldiers had one requirement that they have one teeth on top and one tooth on the bottom right above each other so they could bite the gunpowder bag.
No kidding.
And it didn't matter about education. As long as they had that, you're in.
You just need two teeth.
Yep.
One top, one bottom.
Yep.
Those were the days, I tell you. Gordon, this is we want everybody to pick up a copy of this because it's so fantastic. Your publisher is called BookLand Press. People can go to booklandpress.com. They can visit Amazon, Indigo, or local bookstores. Who do you want to read this book? Who do you think would really just revel in this?
Anybody interested in Canadian history, anybody interested in the War of 1812. It's just a piece of history of our nation that hasn't really been told yet.
That's right. This is the only, I think, right? Because you were looking for this piece of history and it hadn't been shared yet. So here it is today.
And I hope a lot of Newfoundlanders read this.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure they would really, really enjoy this. Okay, we're going to take a short break, everybody, but visit those websites because the book is available and it's doing so great. We'll be right back with more on the show right after this.